Look, hy's baie welkom en dankie dat jy so is.
Oh, dit is altyd 'n plesier.
Nou hoorie so, die nuwe show se naam is Adapt or Fly. I take it's an adaptation of the old P.W. Botha famous statement, adapt or die.
No, it's not an adaptation. The only echo of similarity is the fact that P.W. Botha gave me that title, Adapt or Die. And last year, the spokesperson for the ANC Youth League gave me the title because he said, if white people don't like a future with the ANC Youth League, they can adapt or fly. Thank you for the title. So again, they write me my material. I don't pay taxes, I pay royalties. So I'm very grateful. But it is about politics. It is about now, as Adapt or Die 30 years ago was about then. And strangely enough, there is an echo. Suddenly you think, but wait a minute. That problem is still a problem. It's not about black or white. It's about politics. It's about doing it properly or not. You know, the apartheid government was as corrupt as the present government, but they called it policy. And I think it's very important that the ANC government does not call it policy and that we actually stop this corruption before it takes over.
So much is about semantics. The more things change sometimes, the more they stay the same. I mean, if you give someone power, often they fall into the same trap as predecessors and people they fought against.
Yes.
I find that sad.
It is sad, but it is not just South African. It happens everywhere.
Absolutely.
You know, and I keep on saying that we are in the 18th year of a democracy that nobody ever thought would happen. But it is happening. And believe me, I think it's in a very healthy state because it's going to always give us problems because it's never perfect, touched by human hand. So we've just got to keep our eye on the ball. It's like a big soccer match. If you keep your eye off the ball, you lose the match. You know. So
exactly.
It's hard work.
Someone said the other day, I'm not sure who to quote, but they said that it'll take 100 years because I think people wanted things to change and then wanted things to be 100% like 10 years down the line. Sure, we're 18 years down the line. A couple of things should have been better, but they're not. But quite frankly, do you agree with that? It'll take 100 years for the generations to kind of die out and new generations to come, for us to be really where we wanted to be, 5 years ago.
Well, I'm worried that in 100 years they'll look back and say, gosh, apartheid wasn't such a bad idea, let's go back to that again.
Whoa.
So I think already things have really, truly changed in many ways because the new generation of voter, who's now between 18 and 22, was born after Nelson Mandela was freed from jail.
Yeah.
They have South Africans who have absolutely no understanding of what life was like under apartheid. And I'm talking about white people as well as black people because none of us had a perfect existence. I mean, we whites were given all the benefits of having a white skin. Maar moenie dink nie, moenie vra nie, wat bedoel jy slaap met seuns? Is jy een van hulle? Jy weet, en jy durf nie dit doen nie. I mean, bloody nonsense. I mean, the whole thing was negative. I would say if we can really keep us on the balance, we will be in a very interesting country in another 5 years' time. I already think by next year, let's get through to Mangaung, which is Polokwane Part 2. Let's get... and let's sort out Malema. He's got to sort himself out. He's not going to disappear. And I think maybe in about 10 years' time, we'll look back and be very grateful that Malema came and shook us all up, including the ANC. Because nobody shook the ANC up at all. They just sat there like old ladies turning 100 years old. They needed bedpans and hearing aids. And he's given them running shoes.
Is he here to stay?
Oh, I hope he's here to stay because he's not a stupid man. He gives me material. Please don't knock my best scriptwriter. He's really, I'm very grateful. Most of the things he's said are things we cannot ignore. The way he said it, of course, is questionable. And the fact that he has Breitling watches and lives the life of a billionaire.
Whilst, hitting
but wait a minute, when you actually talk to people on the ground who have nothing.
Yeah.
They love the fact that he has something because it shows that they can also aim for something. So one was also adapt one's prejudice to many things. I've learned that now in my 67th year, I must listen more than just talk. I must listen to what people are saying, especially what young people are saying. It's very interesting. And I'm being challenged constantly, and that's good, very good.
I do sometimes think, though, in the land of the blind, one eye is king. And
I've got three eyes. 2 of them are made up.
I wasn't talking about you. So, am I right in saying that if you had to host a dinner and you could invite a couple of people, let's say 4, well, not 5, that'd be stupid, 6 people around the table? So it's you and 5 people.
Yes.
Would Malema be one?
At the moment, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Zilla would be another one. You mean South African, specifically
No.
South Africa? Oh, you mean all over the world?
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's very hard.
I know, it's a
I would
tough
like
one.
Vladimir Putin. I would like to find out more about the way he's actually. It's very interesting how he's manipulated power.
But vodka will be good for him. I think that will shake things up. As
I think also Barack Obama's wife is Michelle. Interesting. Joan Rivers.
Oh my word.
Fabulous Joan Rivers, 75 years old and still working like a Trojan. There's a great documentary called A Piece of Work about Joan Rivers, which everybody should see. It's
Really?
amazing. Yeah.
She's now at that age where she doesn't care. I mean, she never really cared. But now even less, so she's like, I'm in my 70s, I will say exactly what I
Yes,
feel.
yeah, she's a lesson. I mean, I feel that, look, I'm sort of, now, my audition is over. The disease to please has been cured. I mean, most of my life, I was very nervous about, what are they going to think? Wat gaan die oom sê? Wat gaan die sê? And then, I don't care. If
Is it
people
like
don't
him to VS? Is it neat?
It's a great place to be, but at your age, you're not going to be here yet because there's still too many things that you like going, you've got to work out your...
Verzettig hier,
Yeah,
dink 'n bietjie daar.
and maybe there is a time when somebody of your age says those things, and then then people say, you can't say that, you're a bad influence. I don't know. I just think the sooner young people can get that confidence to actually articulate what they think, it's good. And if they're wrong, they can change their minds, But to be quiet because you're frightened is terrible.
Oh no, that's an awful. That will be going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Very much backwards. Are you still doing good work for HIV education?
Well,
in
I
this
go
country?
to schools. Good work. It makes me sound like Mother Teresa with clothes on. I go to the schools with my AIDS entertainment, and I don't even call it that. It's called For Fact's Sake. You've got to say that very carefully. You can't have a wine in your tummy when you say that. It's an hour entertainment for the kids about. It used to be about death when AIDS led to death.
Yeah.
When I started this in 2002. Now it's not about death, but it's certainly about a change of life. And I'd say to the kids who are 12, 13, 14, when on Saturday night you go to your party and you're not going to look 14, you're going to look 23 because you're damn good looking and you know how to dance and have a great time, and you're going to have wine and booze, and they, no, I said, yes, am I right? Okay. And you're going to have some drugs, am I right? Okay. Okay, tell me one thing, can you think straight? No. So then you're going to make a mistake. It takes one mistake to change your life. If you get the HIV virus, you will have to change your energies to stay alive and healthy. You can have a great life, but you cannot spend 100% of your time on the things you could do if you were healthy. So decide. The kids are so bright. They're not stupid. They just want to know how to get on with their lives. They will have sex because it's nice. Nobody must lie to them and say it's not nice. It's a minefield. But let me tell you something. When I come out of a school in the Vaal Triangle, having spent 2 hours trying to find it, and there are 3,000 kids sitting on a cement floor that's still wet from the floods.
Yeah.
And they stand up and sing Nkosi Sikeleli for me, and I see the brightness of excitement in their eyes. I am so excited about the future of this country. I mean, there are some wonderful possibilities if we stop treating kids like children and stop being frightened of a virus. It's just a bloody virus. It's not a tsunami. There's nothing we can do about it. Tsunami.
Exactly. Yeah.
But there's a huge amount. And things are definitely improving. Thank God Thabo Mbeki is buggered off with his appalling denials. There's a lot of focus on testing and on antiretrovirals, but there's not enough on preventative information.
Yeah.
That's where I come in, to say to the kids, oppas, daai dingetjie gaan stay voort, en moet sit plastiese sakkie daaronder sit.
Unfortunately, the politicians don't always help.
No, they
Get
don't
the
help.
message across. I mean, the
They don't
famous
help.
Jacob Zuma case.
No, but also, look at this 100-year anniversary party the ANC had in Bloemfontein, and they gave as a gift to all their guests a package of condoms. It turns out that they were all faulty.
Oh,
I mean,
my
with
word.
friends like that, who needs enemies? Come
Seriously.
on, people, you must now really just cry.
Get it right for the
You
so-called
have
kids. Moved to Darling a couple of years ago,
Mm.
and I believe it's going very well there. Vitas Perron, of course, is there. And it's just a hustling and bustling little town, but it's not quite. You're not going to sit in a traffic jam, right?
Do you know we have traffic jams when we do our flower shows, when we have our Voorkamerfeest first weekend in September, which
Yeah.
means you park your Mercedes-Benz, you get into a township taxi and you go into the township.
And Casino
And
Fiesta.
the show is in the Voorkamer of a tiny little RDP house. It's a life-changing experience. We're going into the 9th year of it, and there is a traffic jam. There is a traffic jam. Waar kom jy nie ons mense vandaan, you know? In the Evita Besaidnet Boulevard. Evita's got her own boulevard. You'll find it on Google Earth. Evita Besaidnet Boulevard in
really
Darling.
now?
Yeah, really,
Okay,
truly.
very, very cool.
It's a great place. I mean, listen, the only reason I'm there is because I took a wrong turning 15 years ago. I was on my way to McGregor and ended up in Darling. That's the only reason I'm
And you thought to
there.
yourself, hang on.
And suddenly I thought, well, first of all, I thought, why am I here? Second of all, oh, what a nice name for a town. And thirdly, I met a travel agent, a estate agent who'd seen my show at the Backstep. He said, what are you doing here? I said, well, I don't know, I'm in the wrong town. She said, let me show you, it's a pretty town. And she said, there's a house we can't sell. It's got cobras under the floor and it's been empty for 7 years. Yeah, we came round the corner and there was this old Victorian house with skiver shutters and elephant grass. I bought it in the car. I just bought this house. So there you are. I bought the house in
So moving back to Johannesburg.
and
or Cape Town,
so
you
after I had the house renovated, that was an extraordinary experience. And moved to Darling. It was the best mistake I've ever made. Believe me, it was. And then of course the Perron happened, the old Darling
yes,
station.
of course, yeah.
And we're very much on the international circuit. I mean, half the audiences are from all over the world. Come and they go to Robben Island in the morning. They come to Evita's Perron in the afternoon, from the sublime to the ridiculous.
Beautiful.
And it's great. It's very, and of course with the internet you can live outside the war zone. You can live in a small town. You don't have to be right in the center of the action, because it's all there on your little BlackBerry.
Oh, blessed.
Yeah, man.
Now listen, Evita Besaidnet apparently is coming in a
Yeah.
couple of moments' time
Well, I can't be here.
to
Listen,
make
I
a really big
don't-
announcement.
Oh God! So she's going to come, and I missed it. She had a press conference this
I know,
morning
I
in
heard that in
Joburg,
Johannesburg.
and I just thought, I've been doing her since 1979 as a joke, because she was such an irritating person at the time. And somehow the public just started loving what I did, and I realized that she didn't like it, nor did the National Party like it. So she became a clown. But I mean, she's a hell of a strain, because I can't drink and I can't eat chocolates because I've got to stay thinner. And she says I'm fatter than her. Oh, I don't know. You've got to handle her.
I know.
Just
But
don't
we
tell
are
others
looking
here.
forward.
I'm not- I don't
But
want to.
before we let you go, adapt or fly.
Yes.
At which point do you tell someone that to their face?
I've never
Because it
told
sounds like
somebody
you.
to.
Sorry to interrupt you. It sounds like your show has very much a positive message to it,
Yes.
which is often needed, especially with all the other things that act as bait. People go,
Yeah.
oh, you see.
Yeah.
No. Also,
Are we
no.
good at that? We're good at that.
Yeah, we are good at that. So, do you ever say to someone's face, "Listen, adapt or fly"?
Well, actually, when you analyse it, adapt on a daily basis. The democracy is very, very diverse. People have got different demands.
Yeah.
Adapt your prejudice. That's basically what I'm saying. Your fear. Confront your fear. Listen, if you don't like it, you can go. I have got friends who left in the 80s, and their children are now coming back. Their children were born in Australia and Canada.
That's
They want to come back because this is their roots, and they bring
Yeah.
their accents and their
Yeah.
education, and their grandchildren are here. But now suddenly they're frightened and they want to go back with their children. And my point is, if you've got kids, your priority is your kids, and wherever you as the parent feel your kid is safe, you must go.
Sure.
I say you don't run away, you run towards. So that's everybody's choice. That's a democratic choice. If people sit and moan, sit around a dinner table, oh, this democracy, I'm so sick of it, they stole my car. I said, but you've still got 3 Mercedeses in the garage. Yeah, but one's broken. I said, get into my car. I will drive you to Qantas. Go to Australia and watch your Vietnamese neighbours eat your dogs. Bugger off. I can't be bothered with that negative nonsense. So Adapt or Fly is a celebration of the freedom of speech, the freedom of expression, and the freedom to laugh at things that you never thought you'd find funny. And there are some moments that I think people stay with people for a long time, and I hope so. Hell, man, I want you to remember it for the rest of your life. That's the whole point of live theatre.
I hate to say this, but Evita Besaidnet is outside, and apparently you
Can I go through that door there?
you can.
Yeah, that door's okay. I'll put it
You
on
go
the back.
through the back door, and
Okay.
then we'll let her in at the front door, and let's hear what this big press conference was all
Okay.
about. It is so good to catch up
Oh,
with you.
man,
All
it's
the
been
best.
very nice. Thank you, man.
MBD